Do relationships cause you more pain than happiness? Do you feel that no matter how hard you try, your relationships do not flourish as you expected? Modern relationships can be complicated, and it's easy to fall into traps that damage trust and communication. Healthy relationships are essential for our emotional and mental well-being. They give us support, security, and a space to grow and be ourselves. However, toxic relationships can have a negative impact on our self-esteem, confidence, and mental health. What if I told you that a philosophy developed more than 2,000 years ago could hold the secret to deeper, more meaningful connections in today's digital age? I'm talking about Stoicism, an ancient but timeless wisdom that can transform the way we interact, understand, and bond with those around us. Let's imagine that you apply the principles of a philosophy that once guided great emperors and thinkers to your own personal relationships. Stoicism teaches us that the foundation of any strong relationship is not found in grand gestures or constant agreements, but in mutual respect, understanding, and the ability to control our perceptions and reactions in a world where conflicts and misunderstandings seem to arise at random every step. Stoicism offers a ray of light and stability, whether you are struggling to connect with a colleague in hopes of deepening your bond with a partner or simply seeking more meaningful friendships. The Stoic approach to relationships can give you practical tools and deep insights. Today we will dive deep into the wisdom of Stoicism to discover the secrets of cultivating truly satisfying relationships in our fast-paced and often chaotic world. Get ready to transform your approach to relationships and discover the joy of connecting with others on a deeper, more authentic level. Principle number 1, building strong relationships. When we think of Stoicism, we might conjure up images of stern philosophers disconnected from the world and their emotions. But in reality, Stoicism is about relating to the world and others in a more meaningful and thoughtful way. It is about creating bonds that are not just superficial or based on fleeting emotions, but are built on a solid foundation of mutual respect, understanding, and shared values. Now you may be wondering, how can a philosophy that teaches detachment and control over emotions help build strong relationships? Well, it's quite fascinating. Stoicism does not advocate suppressing our emotions, but understanding them, managing them, and ensuring that they do not dominate our reason. When it comes to relationships, this means being more aware of our reactions and responses. It's about choosing not to react angrily or jump to conclusions. Stoicism teaches us that instead of taking a step back, we should take a moment to reflect and then engage in a constructive and loving way. Stoicism places value on empathy and understanding. Imagine that you are in disagreement with a friend. Instead of immediately defending your point of view, you try to see the situation from their perspective. You listen, you really listen to what they are saying, not only to respond but to understand. This type of active listening and empathy can transform relationships by creating a deeper connection and, in addition, mutual respect. Stoicism helps us focus on what is within our control in any relationship. We cannot control the other person's thoughts, feelings, or actions, but we can control our own. This means choosing kindness over hostility, patience over impatience, and understanding over judgment. It means focusing on being the best friend, partner, or family member we can be, regardless of how the other person behaves. But here's the thing. Building strong relationships isn't just about managing conflict or being a good listener. It's also about sharing joys, celebrating successes, and supporting each other through challenges. Stoicism encourages us to appreciate the present moment and value the time we spend with others. It teaches us to be grateful for our relationships and to express that gratitude openly. The Stoic approach to building strong relationships is to combine consideration and emotion. It is about relating to others in a way that is respectful and based on a deep understanding of ourselves and the people we care about. By taking this approach, we can create more meaningful, lasting connections that enrich our lives and those around us. So let's embrace the wisdom of Stoicism and cultivate relationships that are not only strong, but also deeply rewarding and satisfying. Principle number 2, perception and control in interpersonal dynamics. It's fascinating to think about how much our perceptions can shape our reality, especially in our interactions with others. Stoicism offers a profound perspective by emphasizing that it is not the events themselves that disturb us, but our interpretation of those events. So when it comes to relationships, this idea is incredibly powerful. Let's break it down. Imagine that you are waiting for a friend who is late. You can perceive this situation in many ways. You might think that they don't respect your time, have feelings of frustration or anger. On the other hand, you might consider that you may have faced an unexpected delay and remember times when you yourself were late for an appointment. This shift in perception can lead to feelings of understanding and patience rather than irritation. Now, this is where the Stoic concept of control comes into play. We often try to control things that are inherently out of our hands, such as other people's actions or thoughts. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control, on our own thoughts, perceptions, and reactions. By applying this to our relationships, we can create a more harmonious and less stressful environment for ourselves and those with whom we interact. For example, when there is a misunderstanding or disagreement with someone, our instinct might be to blame them. However, the Stoic approach would be to look inward and consider how our perceptions and reactions contributed to the conflict. By doing so, we empower ourselves to respond more constructively and compassionately in the future, but it's not just about handling the negative. In some situations, the power of perception and control also plays a crucial role in appreciating the positive aspects of our relationships. By choosing to focus on the good qualities of others and the joyful moments we share, we can cultivate a more grateful feeling and an optimistic outlook. This does not mean ignoring problems or pretending that everything is perfect, but rather balancing our awareness to appreciate the good while addressing the challenges. The Stoic practice of reframing our thoughts and focusing on our sphere of control can be transformative. In our relationships, it encourages us to be more understanding, less reactive, and more grateful to the people in our lives. So next time you feel upset or frustrated in a relationship, remember the power of perception and control. Ask yourself, if this is under my control, can I perceive this differently? By doing so, you will not only improve your relationships, but you will also find greater peace and contentment within yourself. Principle number 3, embrace Stoic values for harmony in relationships. Let's embrace this Stoic wisdom and see how it can positively impact our connections with others. Stoicism is not just about personal peace and resilience, it is deeply intertwined with how we interact with others. Upholds virtues such as wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, all of which can significantly affect and enrich our relationships. In the context of relationships, wisdom is not just about being knowledgeable or intelligent, it is about understanding the nuances of human interactions, recognizing diversity and perspectives, and choosing actions that promote a harmony and understanding. When we apply wisdom in our relationships, we seek to understand before being understood, empathize, and respond, not react. This approach can diffuse conflict, deepen connections, and foster mutual respect. Next, let's talk about courage in relationships. Courage does not necessarily mean great heroic acts. It's about the courage to be vulnerable, to express your true feelings, and address problems head-on instead of avoiding them. It's also about the courage to step back when necessary, respecting the boundaries of others and our own. This type of courage builds trust and authenticity in relationships, creating a safe space where genuine connection can flourish, moving toward justice. Stoicism teaches us to treat others with justice and dignity by recognizing our interconnectedness and the impact of our actions. In relationships, this means practicing empathy, considering the needs of others along with our own, and striving for interactions that are mutually beneficial and respectful. It also means standing up for what is right and fair, which can sometimes require difficult conversations or decisions. Finally, we have temperance or self-control in the area of relationships. This virtue has to do with balance and moderation. It is about expressing our feelings appropriately without giving in to impulsive reactions. Maintain a healthy balance between giving and receiving. Practicing temperance helps us avoid extremes of overdependence or distancing by fostering relationships that are both supportive and empowering. By integrating these Stoic values into our relationships, we not only enhance our personal growth, but we also contribute positively to the lives of those around us. We create an environment where mutual respect, understanding, and genuine care are paramount, paving the way for deeper, more meaningful connections as we conduct our daily interactions. Let's keep these Stoic values in mind, whether in a conversation with a friend, a disagreement with a partner, or a collaboration with a colleague. By applying wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, our relationships can be transformed for the better. Let us adopt these values not only as ideals, but as practical tools to nurture and enrich our connections with others. Principle number 4. Manage your emotions wisely. While Stoicism is often misinterpreted as advocating emotional suppression, it actually encourages a deep understanding and wise management of our emotions. Emotions are an integral part of our human experience and play an important role in our relationships. Stoicism helps us navigate these waters with greater skill and compassion. First, it is crucial to recognize that the emotions themselves are not the problem, but how we respond to them. What matters in the context of relationships is acknowledging our feelings without letting them dictate our actions. For example, feeling anger is natural, but Stoicism teaches us to pause and reflect before reacting with anger. This space between feeling and action is where we have the power to choose a response that aligns with our values and nourishes our relationships, rather than one that could harm them. Additionally, Stoicism encourages us to examine the underlying beliefs that trigger our emotions. Often, our emotional reactions arise from perceived threats to our values or expectations. By understanding these triggers, we can address the root causes of our emotions, communicate our needs more effectively, and foster greater empathy within our relationships. Now let's consider empathy as a crucial emotional skill in any relationship. Stoicism's emphasis on understanding the perspectives of others aligns wonderfully with the practice of empathy. By striving to understand the emotions and points of view of those around us, we can respond with kindness and support, deepening our connections and building mutual trust. Additionally, expressing our emotions authentically is vital for healthy relationships. Stoicism does not advocate hiding or repressing our feelings, but rather understanding them and sharing them constructively. Open and honest communication about our emotions can improve intimacy and understanding, strengthening the bonds we share with others. Lastly, it is important to remember that managing our emotions is an ongoing practice. Stoicism provides tools and perspectives that can help, but like any skill, it requires practice and patience. As we become more adept at navigating our emotions and responding with intention, we will find that our relationships become more resilient and compassionate. Fulfilling the role of emotion in relationships through the lens of Stoicism allows us to build stronger, more understanding connections with others. By recognizing our emotions, reflecting before reacting, and communicating with empathy and honesty, we can improve emotional depth and quality of our relationships. Let us continue to cultivate these practices by fostering relationships that thrive on emotional intelligence and mutual respect in any relationship, whether romantic, family, or professional. Principle 5. Improve communication and trust. Communication and trust are the foundation on which everything else is built. Without them, even the strongest connections can fall apart. Communication in the Stoic sense is not just about talking, but about connecting. It's about sharing our thoughts, feelings, and values in an honest way. Clear and respectful. Stoicism teaches us to listen, not only to respond, but to understand. This means giving our full attention to the other person, recognizing their perspectives, and responding thoughtfully in a world where distractions are constant. This type of approach says that intentional communication can significantly strengthen our relationships, but communication is a two-way street. It is equally important to express ourselves openly and authentically. This can be a challenge, especially when discussing sensitive topics or addressing conflicts. However, Stoicism encourages approaching these conversations with courage and wisdom, expressing our truth with tact and respect. By doing so, we not only solve problems more effectively, but we also build deeper trust. Now let's talk about trust. Trust is like a bridge that connects two people, and just like a physical bridge, it needs a solid foundation and continuous maintenance. Stoicism offers valuable information. To build this foundation, it teaches us to be trustworthy, consistent, and transparent in our actions and words. When we say we will do something, we do it. When we make a mistake, we accept it and correct it. These behaviors lay the foundation for trust by showing others that we are trustworthy and honorable. But trust also requires vulnerability. It involves opening ourselves to sharing our inner thoughts and feelings and trusting that the other person will treat them with care. This can be discouraging, but Stoicism provides the courage to face our fears and the wisdom to discern when and how to share. By showing vulnerability, we invite others to do the same, fostering a cycle of trust and openness that deepens our relationships. Furthermore, trust is not just about believing in each other, but believing in the relationship itself. It is about having faith. You can overcome challenges, resolve conflicts, and become stronger. This type of trust provides a sense of security and belonging, essential ingredients for any healthy relationship. Communication and trust are not only nice in a relationship, they are essential. Let us commit to practicing these principles in our daily interactions. By applying the principles of Stoicism, we can improve our ability to communicate clearly, empathically, and build trust through integrity and vulnerability, and ultimately forge connections that are resilient and rewarding. Principle 6. Foster deeper connections. Fostering relationships that are rooted in deep understanding and mutual respect. In a world where surface-level interactions and fleeting connections are all too common, cultivating deep and meaningful relationships can seem like a daunting task. However, Stoicism offers enduring insights that can help us foster these deeper connections that enrich our lives and the lives of those around us. Above all, Stoicism teaches us the value of presence in our fast-paced, digitally driven world. You are not fully present with someone while our minds are miles away. Stoicism reminds us of the importance of being fully present, both physically and mentally, when we are with others. This means actively listening, genuinely participating in conversations, and showing that we value the time we spend. When people feel truly seen and heard, they build the foundation for a deeper, more meaningful connection. Next, let's talk about shared experiences and values. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of living by our values and encourages us to seek out others who share those values. When we engage in activities that reflect our core beliefs, whether volunteering, pursuing a hobby, or exploring a spiritual path, we create opportunities to meet like-minded people. These shared experiences and values form the foundation for strong, lasting connections. Furthermore, Stoicism encourages us to accept vulnerability, even though it may seem contradictory. Showing our true selves with all our flaws and uncertainties can deepen our connections with others. When we open up and share our struggles and triumphs, we allow others to do the same by fostering a sense of mutual trust and understanding. It's important to remember that vulnerability is a strength, not a weakness, and is a key ingredient in forming lasting, authentic relationships. Additionally, Stoicism teaches us the importance of gratitude and appreciation. By regularly acknowledging and expressing gratitude for the people in our lives, we not only strengthen our existing connections, but we also attract more positive relationships. Appreciation reinforces the value we see in others, encouraging them to remain an integral part of our lives. Lastly, developing deeper connections is an ongoing journey, not a destination. Our relationships as evolving entities that require care and attention, we can cultivate connections that are not only deep and meaningful, but also resilient and long-lasting. Developing deeper connections is a vital aspect of a fulfilling life, and Stoicism provides great wisdom to help us achieve this. Being present, sharing experiences and values, embracing vulnerability, expressing gratitude, and committing to continued growth. We can build relationships that offer deep support, companionship, and joy. Let us embrace these Stoic principles and invest in deep, meaningful connections that enrich our lives and those around us on this journey of life. Our relationships are our anchors that bring us joy, strength, and meaning. Remember that the art of building deep connections is a testament to our shared humanity. It reflects our capacity for empathy, understanding, and love. Have you ever been in a relationship where you felt insecure, controlled, or manipulated? If so, remember that you are not alone. I would like to read in the comments, how have you dealt with them? I encourage you to bring the wisdom of Stoicism into your life, with relationships that foster bonds that not only endure, but flourish. Thank you for joining me on this eternal and empowering journey. Let us continue walking together the Stoic path towards wisdom and a fuller and happier life.